show. Always Irish show. Always Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to an edition of Notre Dame has a new quarterback, and it's official, and I want to know what you think about it. Welcome in. Welcome to the show. I want to know what you think. We have this news, and there's a lot of things that fall in place when you have news like this and things that move and the dynamics shift, and we were talking about what it might be, and now it is. And so I want to give you guys a chance. I want to give you guys a chance to respond to this. All your thoughts. If you love it, if you hate it, what you're worried about, any of that stuff. So I would love to hear it. That's what we're here for. I want your opinions on this. I have a couple surface level ones, and then we'll see what you guys think. We got a few calls, and I want to give everybody a chance. So welcome in, welcome back, everybody. Good morning, Jaded. It's Jaded's birthday. Regular here. Happy birthday. Says he's an old guy now. I don't know how old you are, but happy birthday. Thank you for being here with us. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on that way you alerted every time a new episode drops. Twitter, search bar Always Irish, or at Always Irish Shake. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it. You can get it if you don't want to look at my face. I don't blame you for that. How do you think I feel? How do you think I feel? You don't want to look at my face all day. I got to look at my own face when I'm doing content. It's looking right back at you. How do you think I feel? Give me a break. Instagram, Facebook, Always Irish Shake. USA Today. USA Today Fighting Irish Wire. Go there, check it out. I got an article up about what I think Leonard could bring to the Irish. Patreon.com/Always Irish. Former Notre Dame captain, leading tackler, by the way, Mike Goolsby and myself, breaking down things all Notre Dame behind the paywall. I see a couple people in the chat must be Patreon members because we got into, I don't know how, we got into the Hartman thing. And Mike wants to know why there's so much love. And like a part of the answer to me is like people just people give good-looking people a lot of leeway in life, man. That's just the reality. And I was talking about the NIL event where there were people just like all people's Notre Dame fans and their wives are there, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's a good-looking man. I got to hug him. Like, I don't know, man. But we got off the track on like why Hartman's gotten so much love when the results weren't what we wanted. And a part of it, that's what we came up with is if you're that good looking, you get a lot of leeway, whatever you're doing. So I don't know. I don't know. All right. I have some chats marked here that I'm going to go over that were some of what were on my bullet points. I want to give people a chance here that are on the calls to say what they think. And so that's what we're going to do. But first, our sponsor is, of course, the ND Subway Alumni Group, ndsubwayalumni.com. Code XMSGIFT 35. Look at it at the top of the screen. Get yourself a Lewski, a Shotsky, get yourself a hoodie, get yourself a t-shirt. Still time for the holidays. Make sure you do it. Xmas gift 35 on the discount deal just for our group. And I love working with them. I say it all the time. Subway alums, a big part of what makes Notre Dame football what it is. Go support them. All right. So let me get out a couple of my thoughts, and then I'm going to kind of give it to you guys. We'll see what the callers think. Mix the chats in as well. Okay. Let's do the donations first. I don't want to miss those. Eric, $10 holler, my lawyer in Michigan. Isn't all we need to know about Riley Leonard is that Ohio State wanted him, regardless of what Ohio State says now about the film. Yeah, there were some interesting things in that mix with Ohio State. Their interest level, their non-interest level, then their renewed interest level, then the understanding that Riley Leonard rebuffed them at one point. There's a lot of stories out there. And then, of course, when you don't get a guy, you don't want to admit you didn't get a guy. Then you just say we didn't like his film. That works out. Oh, $10 holler again. If Marcus Freeman says this will be a competition next spring, he's flat out lying. ND does not pay this much money. A guy who has first-round grades in 22 to sit behind three-star Angeli. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I have some thoughts on that, by the way. The old school in me, this is really important. This is so important. We need to just get this done now because it's going to be a running storyline all spring because it was one last year too. In my heart, in my Notre Dame soul, it's like, good old football. I want everybody to have a chance, like get everybody in the fold. Then you gather in the spring and we have a competition and the best guy wins the job and all that. I don't think that's how these things go. I don't think that's how these things go. I don't think that's how these things go. I don't. You got to explain to me how a group at Notre Dame's willing to pay over $1 million to get this quarterback. And then you're going to say, oh, he's not the starter. I think he would earn the job anyways. But I think I want it to be a legit competition because that feels fair to me. That feels just to me. That feels fair to the other guys that are already here that have been matriculating through Notre Dame. Like, that all seems fair. But at the end of the day, the fund, the F-U-N-D, NIL fund, they're not coming up with over $1 million to have a guy not start. And that puts Marcus Freeman in a weird spot. He has got to get up there and frame it as a competition going into spring, or he risks losing the rest of the backups and they all know they have no chance and they leave. He doesn't want to do that. So he's got to get up there and frame it that it's a competition. Behind the scenes, though, if you identified a guy and you wanted him and they cleared over $1 million for you to put together an NIL package, and then that guy doesn't start, guess what? That's the end of that NIL quarterback money. That's the end of the NIL quarterback money. This is where the modern realities of college football meet the road of the actual on-the-field stuff, you guys. This is how it all connects. I want a competition because it's the fair thing to do to all these guys. It is. That group you go to get that money cleared, to go get this guy, the pitch you have to give those people to write those checks, whether it's said or unsaid, that's going to be the quarterback. And the other thing, I've said this 1,000,000 times, and now it's going to be 1,000,001. And I need you guys to understand it. And Notre Dame fans have a hard time wrapping this in their brain. I don't care what Freeman says at press conferences. It's not all the truth. He can't tell you the truth because we can't handle the truth or whatever. So when he gets up there to open spring camp and they ask about the quarterbacks, he says, oh yeah, we have a competition. We want to see what everybody can do. Understand, he has no other option. He's got to say that. He's got to say that. No, are you calling Marcus a liar? That's not it. Manipulating these situations to the press is a part of the job description of a head college football coach. They must present that angle. Wasn't true last year, and it ain't going to be true this year. Any competition, it hurts me. I want a fair competition for all these guys. Let the best guy win. I don't care if Angeli throws for 500 yards in the bowl game. Riley Leonard starting next year. I don't care. You don't. I want a real competition so bad just to make me feel like old school. I don't think that's the dynamic anymore. So everybody needs to understand that. The other thing that means is all these quarterbacks are not staying here forever. It's getting pretty damn crowded, and there's more talent coming in behind the guys that are here now. So somebody going to leave. It's the modern realities of the quarterback room. If you think you should get a shot to play and you're not, you're going to go somewhere else, bro. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. But I'm telling you right now, I do not care if Angeli has no incompletions, throws for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. Riley Leonard starting next year. And I don't care when Freeman gets up there the first day of camp and says, this is a competition. He's got to say that. He must say that. Or the other guys are going to check out, maybe permanently or at least part-time mentally. That's what I see with this. I don't think that's the most fair thing. It's not the most pure thing to the sport and all that, but that's the reality we live in, you guys. If you go to this fund group and ask for over $1 million, and then they say why, and then you give them the case why, and then they do it, and then you don't start the guy, that's the end of that money. That's the end of that money. I'm just telling you how this shit works. This all makes me uncomfortable, but they're the modern realities of college football. This is just how this goes. How it goes. Now, here's the other thing I want to bring up that's tied into this. I've gotten some more information and really good sourcing too with Goolsby and some of his contacts that are different than mine in different roles. I've gotten to start to see some behind the scenes stuff with Notre Dame and this fund and a lot of these things involved. Things are changing in Notre Dame a little bit, you guys, in a good way. I'm telling you, I can't give you every detail I know because then your source is no longer sourcing for you. I'm just telling you, there's some things changing in Notre Dame a little bit with the flexibility, with some of the NIL. It's not all public. With some of the transfer stuff, with even, I'm going to give you something little. Even how quickly they turned around the new wide receiver hire, even that is an example of them getting more modern. Remember, Notre Dame used to take forever to vet guys and to hire them, and it would take forever, and we'd be going, what's taking so long? We're losing recruits. Nobody's recruiting because Notre Dame's taken a month to do a background check, an O'Leary check on this guy. They sped that up. I'm telling you, it's never going to be enough for some people. It's never going to be enough for some people. But I am really hard on the Notre Dame admin, supporting Marcus, getting on the same page, giving him what he needs within our values, all of that stuff, having a little more flexibility. I got to admit, I'm starting to feel and see some of that going on. That is a really good sign. And you guys know, I am the first one to go after Notre Dame's administration when I feel that they're not doing all they can to set this program up for success. I'm telling you, some of this is starting to change behind the scenes, and it doesn't move as fast as everybody wants it involved with Notre Dame. There are things happening, and Marcus Freeman is doing a good job of working all this and the personalities involved in figuring out a way to get things done in a little bit of a different way and a quicker way, and getting what they need. I'm just telling you, I'm a tough gauge of this administration when it comes to what I deem as proper support for the head coach in football. I am genuinely a little bit surprised at some of the things I've heard about just how modern they're able to get now. So they're not operating like Georgia and Alabama or something like it. Isn't that. I'm just telling you, if they need NIL money for somebody, it ain't a problem. But you got to make sure it's the right guy and there's a legitimate pitch of why we're doing that. But if Marcus Freeman needs NIL money for something, it ain't a problem. It ain't a problem. And there's trigger people involved that have football priorities right at the top of the list when it comes to that part. I'm telling you, things are changing, and it's a really, really good sign. There's a lot of parts of this where in the last 2 weeks, where I go, wow, okay, wow, Notre Dame, all right, I'm a little bit impressed here. So take that however you want. I also see somebody talking about Father Dowd and if he cares about football. I got people working on that. I got people working on that. And eventually I'm having lunch with the guy because I know one of his very close friends at Notre Dame. I'll be able to have lunch with him and I'll feel it out for you. Probably maybe in February, I'll get over there. We'll do that. I want to have a lunch with the new president and see what's going on and drop some lines in the water. Okay. Do I think it's the new AD related? I think it all helps. But I'm telling you, Marcus Freeman is doing a good job navigating some of this. His personality, I'm telling you, he's got to learn on the field stuff and the mistakes got to tighten up. Yes. Marcus Freeman's personality and the relationships, being able to get people to understand where he's coming from, why he needs all this. He's doing a good job. So I got to credit him for that. And I got Luke Holtz. This is all total BS. I don't know why you say that. I don't know why you say that. I am the hardest judge of all this, and I'm giving credit where it's due. John, I'm afraid you're fueling the hype train to nowhere again. Love you, bud, but I have way too many scars to believe. That's fine. Listen. Since when am I the guy? Wait, time of freaking out here. Time out. Since when am I the guy to ever come in here and pump up the Notre Dame admin of doing a good job supporting football? When has that ever been something that's happened on this show? Oh, I know. Never until today. Give me a break. This should register to you guys because I never say it. I never say it. I come in here and go, the admin needs to help the head coach more. Now I'm saying I know for a fact some of that work's getting done, and you're telling me I'm full of shit? All I've done all these years is come in here and say the administration doesn't support these guys enough. And now I have some evidence that tells me they're starting to turn a corner with that, and I'm sharing it with you. That should tell you that I'm serious about it when all of my evidence in every video I've done is they don't help the football program enough. Now I'm saying they're getting some more help than I realized. Gee, give me a break. And that's the other thing. While we're going down this road, sorry that the callers have to wait. While we're going down this road, here's the other thing too. This is starting to irritate me. Some of the same people on Twitter and in here, they're going, well, Angeli's got a low ceiling, whatever. I don't love that. Why aren't we hearing about Minchie? He must not be that good. Carr's not ready yet. I don't like that either. Then you go get Riley Leonard, and it's like, well, we did that last year. It's going to be the same thing, and it's basically like getting the same guy again, and this is just a dumb move or whatever. What the hell do you want Notre Dame to do? What do you want Notre Dame to do? You're just not happy with anything and none of it's good enough. I don't understand what some of you people want or expect. You don't think Angeli or Hartman have the ceiling for it. Carr's coming in as a redshirt, or early enrollee, that and whatever. And then you don't like this guy either. I don't know what you want people to do. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want him to do. If you say I'm a guy who wants a young quarterback to develop and grow and mature with their teammates and have developmental years that can build on one another, I'm right there with you. That's the path I want too. Guess what? Notre Dame's not there yet. They don't feel like they have the guy that's ready to do that yet. So then you did this. But I don't know some of you what you expect. I don't know what you want. It can't make you happy at all. I'm sorry. Caleb Williams isn't coming here next. So I don't know what you want him to do. And I want a young guy. Yeah, me too. But it's got to be the right young guy. It can't just be any young guy. And it also just can't be Steve Angeli because one time in a blowout, he was running this way and threw the ball across his body. It can't be that either, you guys. Some of you are outrageous with the Angeli. I don't understand. Yes, he looks poised and under control out there. You saw the guy in a blowout throw across his body one time and people were ready to name him the starter next year. How? How can anybody say they've seen enough from Angeli to think that? But I'm getting these messages because at one time he was running this way and threw that way and it looked pretty to you in a blowout. Are you out of your mind? So the plan is to be done with this portal stuff soon enough and hitch a wagon to Carr and hopefully Carr, and then Deuce is an athletic freak. Deuce is an alien Notre Dame never gets. Let's just get to that guy. Develop him. But some of you, I don't know what you want. The guys in-house aren't good enough. The guys you like aren't here yet. And then we got one of the top guys out of the pool. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. Just can't make anybody happy sometimes. I'm sorry. It's always the next thing. $10 holler. Unrelated, but did Audric piss someone off? He wasn't a finalist for the running back award as second team All-American. Must be because he plays at ND. He was better than most of the guys in the top 10. These awards, some of how they decide some of this, I cannot wrap my mind around. I just don't get it. The Watts thing, he wasn't even up for the best. He wasn't even a nominee for the best player at his position, but wins best defensive player in the country. Okay. Make that make sense. $10 holler from Tom Chris. What's up, John? Hopefully the new QB leads to success. Hope to see you at the spring game. You know we're going to be at the spring game, and you know we're having a party, and I know you're going to be there. Thank you for the donation. $5 holler from my man Martinez. Just hope it doesn't end up like the Hartman project, and we lose a QB that's been there. You're going to lose one of these QBs eventually. It's just going to happen. It's getting crowded. They're all not going to stay. And you know what? You should be fine with that. You should be fine with that. If people that aren't going to play leave, it means that we have better people. That shouldn't bother you. All these guys, I don't understand. Just because they're a Notre Dame quarterback, they got to be there 6 years or something. If a guy's never going to play, it's because other guys are better than him that are coming in. $5 holler. Will he be hard again? Can't answer that. Personal problem. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid this time until a meaningful postseason game is won. I'm watching with the scowl on my face. Well, that's how I watch all Notre Dame stuff. That's just permanent. Homer, $5 holler. What's up? Good morning, John. Off topic, but I'm asking the Always Irish family to offer up prayers for my brother and niece. Thanks. Go Irish. We would certainly be happy to do that, Homer. And I would be happy to send a couple messages and get a candle lit for you over at the grotto today. I don't believe any of us are there, but I can do that and have done that for people in the past. So I'd be happy to do that. And grotto candle prayers count double. I'm sure of it. I'm happy to do that for you, sir. Loyal to the show and a sweetheart. Love that guy. So let me get into just a couple other notes and then I'll give it to you guys. I appreciate you guys patiently waiting. If I don't get to my stuff, I never get back to it once I get into the calls. So here's what I like. And the big question, I think, is what should give Notre Dame fans optimism that this experiment is going to be different than the Hartman one went, which ended up being a big disappointment. Let's all be honest. Okay. 6'4", 220. That's a great start. Mobile at 6'4", 220 is a terrific start. That alone makes it different than the Hartman thing. I think Riley Leonard's ability to do both, either on designs or scrambles, be able to do both, extend plays, turn one into two comfortably. I think this should help Parker out a lot. And I think Parker could use some help. So just the fact that this guy is dual like that, genuinely dual, not a name only, I like that. And as long as he's healthy and that ankle doesn't get rolled up on or anything, I just love it. Look at what Daniels did for Kelly all year at LSU. Drop the guy back. If somebody's open, he throws it. And if not, he just cuts through a gap, 35 yards, first down. He did that every game, all game. Like, this should open everything up. This should make defenses have to prepare for Notre Dame in a different way than they're used to. That should all help Parker. If it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. Jaded, yawn. Jaded saying yawn. If you're not entertained, leave. If you're not entertained, leave. Nobody's making you stay here. If I'm boring to you on your birthday, don't waste your time. But I'll be honest, I'm losing my patience with some of you guys. It took me a couple years. I'm losing my patience. Oh, not me? Well, never mind. Then happy birthday again. No, I'm just telling you, Chief. I don't want to fight. I'm just telling you. Some of these people are getting to me because it's nonstop misery and there's nothing you can do to even give them any hope or positivity at all. It's just, if they're not absolutely miserable, they're not like having a good day. I just don't understand it. Some of it, it's just tedious. It's just tedious. And here's a couple things I don't like. Year to year, quarterbacks are a dangerous thing. We already experienced that. There's no development again from the position. It's one and done. There's no like development for another year and having rhythm with the receiver. No, it's one and done. And a quarterback will probably transfer eventually. So there you go. If you want to be like, why should I think this would be different than Hartman? They're totally different players. They have totally different skill sets. And I just think that Riley Leonard provides Parker an outlet here and more flexibility that maybe it'll help him evolve as a play caller. And Parker's vision of what he likes to work with is more of a Riley Leonard deuce type guy that is more mobile. That's what he's more comfortable working with. So I think that's good. But overall, you got to applaud the staff for the work they're putting in the portal this cycle. They wasted no time. They identified guys fast. They worked aggressively. And I think that's to be commended. It's above and beyond. You get the Oben, get the Duke guy. That would be a huge position of need. I'm honestly kind of thinking Notre Dame's going to get him. That is a huge get at a position of need. Try and get another receiver if you can. And so that's what I see. But if you want to talk about quarterbacks, Brendan, get to the callers. John, again, some of you are getting way too familiar telling me how to run my own show. I'm telling you, it's starting to piss me off a little bit. Like, you can do what you want. I'm just telling you, I'm going to do whatever I want to do on my show for as long as I want to talk. And then I'll do whatever I want to do. None of you guys are producing my show. None of you are my manager. None of you are doing nothing. Pat said, shut up and take a call. I'm not letting Pat get to me either. You know what I'll do? Talk for 10 more minutes just to piss those people off. And then you know what happens? You know what else happens? When I take the calls, then I get the chats. This caller's boring. Go back to you yelling. And then when I go back to yelling, then people are going, get to the calls. I don't know what you guys want. How about this? This is my final thing. Then we'll take the calls. Brian Kelly, quarterbacks. What are we looking at? Brendan Clark, Pine, Buckner, Angeli, Cone, Freeman, Minchie, Carr, Deuce, Hartman, Leonard. Tell me there's not a night and day difference in the overall talent ceilings of that group. Tell me. Tell me. Those two groups look worlds apart. Those two groupings of guys are completely worlds apart. Brendan Clark, Pine, fresh off the Wizard of Oz tryout set. Buckner, Angeli, Cone. Minchie, Carr, Deuce, Hartman, Leonard, that's different. That's different. Do you guys ever think John has ever gone through a whole day without getting mad? No. What's your point here, John? It's a higher level quarterback room getting better all the time with more talent. Piece it together, genius. Piece it together. What's your point? If you can't figure out the point I'm trying to make between those two groups, maybe that explains a lot. Maybe that explains a lot if you can't tell the difference between those two groups. What is this? BK recruited Jaden Daniels. He won the Heisman. You know what the problem is? LOL, it's Notre Dame. What did Artman do last year? I'm waiting. He underwhelmed. But Kelly getting one portal guy that's older and then not ruining him and still losing 3 games doesn't make me lose any sleep. Oh, man. Dr. John, what's going on? There, I'm getting to the callers. Everybody happy? What's up, Doctor?
You mean it's Wednesday already again?
I guess. We're live on a Wednesday.
My life is flying by.
I know. Time is flying by. And pretty soon I'm going to be in Florida, too. Time's going to go by weird when I'm there for the holidays. I'm a Illinois guy, so to be in Christmas in Florida is going to throw me off.
What's going on with Connor? Gosh, he got irritated early, didn't he?
I'm just telling you. I don't know. I think he's just trying to get me worked up. I don't think he means it. He did that just to get me more mad because he knows I was mad about it. He don't mean it.
You know what? Here's some housekeeping. Why the heck there are 190 people or something watching? There's only 8 thumbs up.
Lazy.
Connor, did you hit thumbs up?
They're lazy. I know, dude. It's like I tell people all the time, just hit subscribe if you're here. It's 1 inch on your thumb and people just don't. They just want to sit there, man. It's just the way it goes. It's very odd. People will just, that's what people do, John. I gave up trying to figure this all out. That's just what people do. It's 1 inch. It's not even an inch. And people are like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. Whatever.
Well, now Connor wants you to hang up on me, so.
Yeah, now I know he's playing games. Dr. John, what do you think of all this? Do you like the Riley Leonard situation, or do you worry about what it does to the rest of the quarterback room? What are your thoughts now that this is official?
Well, I watched your video about Leonard, and what I wrote down was it sounds like a taller Buckner to me.
Yeah, although I think I kind of get it, but I think he's got a stronger arm than Buckner. It's just not always the most accurate, but a stronger arm. But that 6'4", 220 and mobile gives me hope, Dr. John. That's just a different type of cat back there. And that gives me a different type of hope because of that size and mobility.
Can he actually, could he play in the bowl game, or is that against the rules?
I believe that's against the rules.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I don't have a lot to say about the whole situation. I think it's been just a ball watching all the chat comments this morning.
Yeah.
You know what? And since I mentioned the thumbs up thing, not one person has hit thumbs up. And I don't know if Cotter has hit thumbs up or not. Have you?
You know what they're going to start doing? The
What does he
ones who
say?
did are going to go back and undo the thumbs up and give it a thumbs down just to play the game here, Dr. John. Whatever,
All
man.
right, I'll stop.
It's all good.
I'll stop harping on it.
It's all good.
Well,
John, this has got to help Parker out, and Parker needs help. Now you got a guy that can run. It opens things up. It's got to help this offense look better. It just has to, even if Parker doesn't get measurably better, having a guy who can run and isn't afraid to do it and is good at it and comfortable with it, that's got to help, right?
well, you'd think so. And I mean, I'm anxious to see Angeli in this bowl game, but like you said, if he throws for 500 yards, what does that tell you? Neither team is going to be what it's going to be next fall. So
Yeah, that O-line makes me
it's going to be
nervous.
it's going to be hard to assess anything.
That O-line makes me nervous. And I do understand that was a part of the calculation by Sam Artman. He's like, hey, I don't have either of my tackles. I'm not trying to go out there and get killed and look like crap in my last game. Like, I literally understand that was a part of the decision, was seeing who was going to play in that game. You don't have both your tackles. So I don't know what it's going to be in the bowl game. I don't expect it to be pretty. I just need you to figure out a way to grind out a win.
Yeah, I agree. And again, it doesn't matter. I still going to be on pins and needles to watch the doggone thing.
Yeah,
so,
I know. That's just
it doesn't matter
yeah.
if there's a fourth string quarterback playing. It's still Notre Dame, and it's still in my gut.
I know. And John, it's like, oh, this bowl game doesn't mean that much. It doesn't move the needle, blah, blah, blah. You say that like 3 weeks out. And then right before the game, we're all going to get sucked right back into compete mode and all that. I love it. It's just the way our fanhood is. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, you got some callers that probably have something important to say rather than me. So you have a great show, and Cotter, for crying out loud, hit thumbs up, will you? Okay, John.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
I appreciate you. Man, I like him going to bat for me. Hit that thumbs up. All right, another caller. Make the people happy. I'm sorry, man. There is Doc. Now Pat's saying there's 84. No, here's what I think this is. There's a difference between the thumbs up, like before we go live, then the thumbs up when we're live, then the thumbs up when it's done live and it's just a video replaying. YouTube stacks those together differently. They layer them. So the 8 might have been the ones from people seeing it before we were live. Then it takes a while to do the live ones. And then the ones counted when it's a video and not live anymore get counted differently. It's just kind of weird. So they add up. They do add up totally differently. 818, what's going on, Rodney? I'd love to know what you think of this quarterback dynamic. Good morning, sir.
Hey, John. Welcome, Pat.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I like that. I want to know, man.
I had a question. I got a really quick.
Yeah. What you got?
Oh, I just wanted to ask about the thumbs up stuff because you said that. I would challenge anybody here to have given you more thumbs up than I always hit thumbs up. Can you, I know we can't, but can you see who gives you those or no?
No, I cannot see who gives a thumbs up.
Okay, I was just curious because there's a lot of times I'm like, how does John only have like a few thumbs up, but he has all these views? Like, and I'm like, everything. It's just automatic. I mean, and that's all the people I subscribe to. I just like automatic. Now, if I see the content or something I don't like, I've never given you a thumbs down. But sometimes I'll but that's very, 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 very rare.
And you know what else?
Anyway, everybody
Rodney,
should do that automatically, guys. If you're on the live chat, automatically hit thumbs up. It actually does help in the algorithms, all that stuff.
You know what YouTube did do, though? Did you notice? I think a year ago, YouTube changed the system where it does not tell you how many thumbs down you got. And they were saying like it makes people sad and like depressed and shit. So they don't even show how many people give you a thumbs down just to protect like YouTubers' mental health. That's a real thing. So,
well, I get that. Though.
Yeah,
I actually get that.
Yeah, they give you the amount of thumbs up, but they don't want anybody to know the thumbs down just to kind of, make you feel better. So, yeah, that's how that goes.
Yeah, it's okay. I have no problem with that, man. I have no problem with that. That's the way it probably should be. I mean, anyway, though. As we digress. What's your question, John?
My question is, now that Riley Leonard's official, here, this is a good question for you. Are we fools for trying to buy back in the way that we were with Hartman and the excitement for all that? Or do you believe there's really optimism and legitimate reasons to think that this could be different this time? I'd love to know what you think.
Yeah, and that's a fair question. And look, I understand people that are skeptical. There should always be skepticism, no matter who it is, because you don't know until you see it on the field. But having said that, I want to make something very clear to people. Look, are we just saying that you just put players on a chalkboard and they're all exactly the same? Of course they're not. I mean, so that it honestly, man. We kind of touched on this on last call on Monday. Hartman was recruited for the Tommy Rees system, and I think Hartman would have. I don't want to say he would have thrived. I'm not going to say that. I don't know because we thought he would have thrived in this one, but I'm almost certain he would have performed better. But there's no question in my mind. I said this last year or early in the season too, that Ian Book would be great or be very good in this offense. and Leonard is a big version of Ian Book. I think there's no question it's going to be an upgrade in terms of the fit to the offense. How much of a fit? How much better is it going to be? I don't know. But it was obvious as we saw the season go on. When Notre Dame would play, tough defenses were ironically, the one game where Hartman used his legs was against Duke, against Leonard.
I thought of that too.
Right, but that would have. That's generally what you see, John, in all the dominant defenses of the last 20 years. What you see is that the teams that didn't have a running quarterback, or I should say the teams that did, a la Texas A&M the year that they beat Alabama, the year Alabama, buried us in the national title game, it was because they had a dual threat quarterback. So I think against bad teams, quarterbacks, like Hartman can thrive. But when you play really, really good defenses, I think unless you have talent everywhere around you, you have to be able to have the threat of the quarterback running to keep that defense off guard.
Yeah, and I just think, and especially even aside from the Parker stuff, if you're rebuilding a wide receiver room and trying to get that up and running, you don't know what you can rely on there yet. That's another reason I'd like a guy that could run, just to give you other options and to help Parker expand his repertoire, because it was not robust last year at all, and it needs to expand. Do you fear what this means for the other quarterbacks? Or is that just like the way things go in the modern era and the line stacks up? Like, that's the next part of the question. Does that part worry you or bother you? Is that just how it goes now?
Well, it got me thinking. I mean, who's to say that maybe not as of yet, but who's to say Angeli can't get a good NIL deal? I mean, let's say Angeli plays in the Sun Bowl game and tears it up. And it shows like 5 touchdown passes, runs for another one, and the offense is just chugging on all cylinders. That's going to really make things very interesting, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, if he has like an incredible bowl game, and it probably would take something like that for him to go in the offseason with a legitimate chance to compete for the starting job. And here's where this is kind of the way I look at it, John. It happens in NFL teams all the time. You a contract year, a guy plays better, they get a big contract, they don't play as well. There is some of that that made me wonder, like once Hartman got that money, and again, I'm not saying the guy didn't try. I would never say that. I could tell he cared about Notre Dame, all that stuff. But so he's kind of an outlier. I don't really mean him, but I just mean all this money, this is all new to college football. And how many times are we going to see, this Marvin Harrison thing? I don't know if it's true or not. I don't want to say maybe he is asking for all that money to come back. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But, the Caleb Williams thing, with wanting to get ownership of the team, which of course is illegal, but, it's like how much of that is going to affect their play on the field? When they get all that money, now all their dreams have been satisfied without really having to prove anything. And then you go out there. I just don't think you have the same motivation, right?
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is for Angeli, I mean, it's to his benefit to go into that bowl game and prove his worth, and I kind of feel like if there's any underrated guy or at least quarterback that we've had in the last few years that I could see that happening, it's Angeli. There seems to be something about him. There's something in his character. I'm really rooting for him, but that doesn't mean I don't want Riley Leonard. I just want to see a healthy, realistic competition in the spring where I think all things being equal, John, it's going to go to Leonard. I don't think there's any question. I mean, he has all the physical tools. He's got more experience. But if Angeli clearly wins the job, then I think he probably gets the nod.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Yeah,
but that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, and I did a show with Goolsby on Patreon last night, and he said, John, here's the difference. Riley Leonard has actual NFL measurables that NFL people want to see in a quarterback, and he's going, that automatically is a different starting point here than what we're used to when the first bullet point is NFL traits, NFL measurables. And that is just a different starting point. And hopefully it brings us some good results. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, John,
I have
Rodney. Part of it, though.
I do have anxiety doing this again. I do have anxiety doing this portal thing again when we did it and it didn't get the results we wanted last year. I do have some anxiety about that, but I also do see some reasons to hope this presents itself differently. Both are true. Here's
why I have no anxiety about it at all. How can it be any worse than what we have? It's only going to be better because here's the thing. Okay, let's say it doesn't work out with Leonard and he plays like crap or gets hurt. Well, then you bring in Angeli. We already have that anyway. I mean, point is, why would you not do that? Why would you not bring it? Now, you say, for the development of next year. How about the year after that? We're talking about this upcoming year where we have a chance to make the playoffs, right? I mean, it's a legitimate chance with 12 teams. So, and that's the other thing. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. There's a good chance that Leonard will be injured for a couple. Who knows? I mean, he's had a history of having some injury problems. So that brings me to another point. I think I was of the default opinion that if Leonard gets the job, Angeli's gone and probably Minchie's still. Now I'm thinking, I think it's actually more likely that it's Minchie who leaves because I think Angeli would be the obvious backup right away, right? I mean, again, assuming he plays really well in the bowl game, I'm saying.
Yeah.
If he doesn't and he doesn't look great, then it could be just a wide open competition.
Yeah.
But assuming he plays well enough in the bowl game, knowing that he's just one play away from being in there anyway, it probably should benefit to stick around.
Yeah. Man, you bring up
to mention he'd have 2 more years anyway after Leonard leaves. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you bring up a good point. All these guys aren't going to stay, and that's just the reality. And I want everybody to get their fair shot and everything. And it's just,
I don't want Minchie to leave, by the way. I'm just saying, it seems almost,
It's just kind of the reality of where the sport's at. And Notre Dame's kind of feels like they got to be a part of it. And then hopefully we could get off this 1-year rental train soon and hitch the wagon to our own guys and grow. And I think that will provide some stability. So that's what I'm hoping for. Anything else? Thanks for calling today.
I think after this year, that's done, man. As long as we don't have 2 guys leave for the portal, then I think after this year that's done because now you will have 4 quarterbacks no matter what.
Yeah.
Like I said, as long as no more than 1 guy leaves, because then you got Deuce Knight the year after, you'd already have Carr, already have Minchie, and then whoever you'd be recruiting for the next cycle. So anyway, that's what I had to say, John. Looking forward to the game on the 26th. It's got more intrigue now, I think, because of all this stuff, right? Yeah. I mean, we're going to be looking. This isn't just we'll just play our reserves and then they're off and they're gone. That's not the case. We're actually seeing a little bit of what we're going to see next year in this game. I think that's really interesting. I'm more interested in this game now than I would have been. I mean, we're always going to watch it. Let's be honest. But I'm more interested now than I was 2 weeks ago or a week ago, whatever it is.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. Hey, have a good day. Hope you're feeling better, man.
Yeah, feeling a little better. It's incremental, man. This is crazy.
Yeah,
All right, John, have a good one, buddy.
You do sound a little better, and that's my opinion, not Dr. John. Again, I'm sick of people running their mouth about me that don't know anything. I'm telling you guys, my fuse is getting short with some of you guys. Just you talk out of pocket because it's the internet, and I'm telling you, my fuse is getting shorter with some of this. Luke Holtz, he dreams of getting in-house media access these days, so he'll never slam Freeman or any head coach moving forward. John has become what he used to despise. You have no fucking idea what I can and can't do, what I choose to do and not do. I could get a media pass anytime I wanted through USA Today. But I choose not to because I want to be doing this, not sitting in a media thing, listening to everybody throwing softballs. That's not a good use of my time. I could do that if I wanted to. That ain't the best use of my time, in my opinion. Just because you got a screen name doesn't mean you get to just say whatever you want, get no pushback. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And all you do is run your mouth. I'm getting sick of this shit. Most of you guys are great, but the same handful of you just talk out of your ass because it's all anonymous. It's all anonymous. And you just chirp, chirp, chirp. You have no idea my situation. You have no idea the decisions I make and why. I could get those media passes, and then I'm stuck in there playing the softball game. I'm not interested in doing that. Not a good use of my time. I'd rather be doing this stuff and Patreon with Goolsby than sitting there. You guys are getting out of pocket, and I'm either going to have to start being like the other shows that just block people or whatever, or I'm just going to have to nail people more directly. But you don't know what you're talking about. You sit there behind a keyboard and just type, type, type. And a lot of it, I don't care. But when it's about me personally and you're speaking on things you don't know, I'm not going to let that slide. $419, you're on the line. Welcome to the show. I'm in a great mood. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, John?
Nothing. There's just a lot going on here in Notre Dame land, and I'm wondering where you fall on it. Do you like this? Do you not like what's going on? Are we in a weird path here with these portal guys? What do you think of all this? Where are we at?
I love it personally. I think that this shows that Notre Dame can compete with the big dogs of college football, and we can secure top talent. We are playing catch up after years of mismanagement in that quarterback room. It's been ignored for years, and here we are. We are bringing in talent. We are using NIL, and we are adapting to the modern world of college football. It sucks. It's not the college football we all know and love. I've heard that from you and Goolsby.
Yeah.
But it's the reality that we're in. And I think Freeman is young. He's got the energy, and he's able to take this program and bring it back to relevancy.
To navigate it.
The coaching stuff's gonna come. He's got a lot to learn. You know, that 10, I live in Ohio, so like that 10-person thing.
Yeah.
Those last two plays.
Yep.
Are my literal nightmare.
Yes, but that's going to live on. That's one that doesn't die easy. That one's going to live on. And especially if you have your area code, buddy, like that one's going to live on. But listen, man, I got to tell you, you're coming from a place, where I'm kind of at. Like I'm looking at the bigger picture and I'm learning more behind the scenes. I'm genuinely encouraged that Notre Dame's getting a little modern here and to a level that I didn't expect. And there are some things I heard about how this all went that make me go, wow, like Notre Dame's really in this game. And I think Freeman is moving the needle with that. And I think his personality is such that he can navigate and get some things done over there. They want to work with the guy because of how he communicates and treats people. And I like that. He's getting things done.
hmm No, I agree completely. And I think this fan base really struggles with transition. And I'm on the younger end, so I've never seen a Notre Dame national championship. I think I will someday in my lifetime. I'd like to hope so.
Yeah.
But it's we have to make these changes to be relevant. We need to bring in talent like Leonard. We have to do this. I don't think Angeli is going to be able to secure us a position in the playoffs next year. And I've only seen him play in garbage time, and they see the coaching staff sees him every single day.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the word of our coaching staff over the garbage time at Wake Forest or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think this fan base we gotta trust the process.
Now, I do admit though, if any Notre Dame fan in good faith just said to me, John, I'm just a little nervous. You know, we jumped the line of our guy already last year and did the whole transfer thing one and done open. We'd win our biggest game and when it didn't work out, I'm nervous about doing that again. I totally understand that. Like if somebody's like a little kind of not diving all in with it, like the way they did with Hartman, because they felt like they got a little bit burned. I actually totally understand that. But again, the dual threat and the size of this guy makes me think you're going to get a different presentation this year with more options. And to me, that is progress.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Riley Leonard, if he plays that Ohio State game for Notre Dame, we win that game. Those 2 fourth downs, we get with his side.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says.
That's a
Hartman
big boy.
Did not.
That's a big boy. 6'4",
Yeah,
220, and he's tough to take down, and he's good on the move. And I know somebody wrote in the chat, what are you going to do when he hurts his ankle running all the time? The same thing I did when it happens to any of our other guys. I complain about it, and you try to not be reckless with this. It's like, I'm in Chicago, I'm in Bears territory. It's always how much do you want Justin Fields to run before he gets his head knocked off or his leg twisted? Like, I don't know. Like, you don't want to be reckless with it, but it is a weapon. Defensive coordinators got a plan for that in a way they didn't have to plan for Notre Dame's quarterbacks last year. That's going to help in theory.
Yep. And to your point, about the concern, I think this coaching staff's done a really good job of emphasizing that they want to grow our talent internally and not go to the transfer portal. I just think Freeman inherited a really bad position when it comes to the QB room. It's the most important position in all of sports. And if we are trying to be nationally relevant, we need to bring in the best talent possible. So let's look to the portal. Let's find these guys so we can elevate our team overall.
Yeah.
Minchie or one of these other guys leave, then, so be it. We are trying to be relevant now.
And I do think it is Freeman's priority and preference to have an in-house guy be the guy, and you have comfort there and years of developing together and all that. But it has to be the right guy. It can't just be a guy you hitch the wagon to. It has to be the guy, and the staff does not feel like they have that yet. And so you got to kind of meet the staff where they're at. They're telling you what they think of the depth in the quarterback room by the decisions that they are making, and they have more information than we do about it. So some of that, you have no choice but to defer to them on things of that nature. They want to get into one of our guys, hitch a wagon to it, but it has to be the right guy, and we're just not there yet. So that being said, I think they did a pretty good job of doing the next thing you could do here. I don't know what people want them to do.
Yep, absolutely, John. Hey, I got to get back to work, so I appreciate you taking my call.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have a good holiday season if I don't speak to you before then, okay?
Yep. Sounds good, John.
Take care, man. Oh, man. Nick Dean said he got yelled at work for laughing at me yelling. Nick, don't let me get you in trouble. Somebody said if the Sox move to Nashville, I'm going to have to root for the Cubs. Are you out of your damn mind? Do you want me to have another rant? That could never happen in a million years to me. It doesn't matter what happens. I'm not doing that North Side bullshit. No. The Nashville White Sox. Dude, they're already hard enough to watch and love when they're your team locally. Unbelievable. Let's keep it rolling. 480, where do you want to go? And I got a 937 and a 574 coming up after that. Good morning, 480. What's going on?
Hey, good morning, John. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little high strung today. I don't know why. People are getting to me or something. I'm a little high strung today. That being said, it's good to be with you, man. I haven't talked to you in a little while here. How are you thinking about this Notre Dame situation?
Yeah, man, I had to take some time away, man, just to kind of process everything that's going on, man. Because I feel like if I put too much time into looking and seeing what's going on, man, my anxiety starts going through the roof.
Yeah.
With Notre Dame football, and it just starts making me get all out of sorts. So I have to balance myself, man. I have other things I do, man, to keep myself balance away from Notre Dame football, so I don't get too stressed about stuff. But my comments are, number one, man, I'm excited that we landed Leonard. And I get people are upset because they feel like we're going around the Ferris wheel again with the same thing. But here's the thing, man. Number one, this is the new wave of football. This is the way the game is going to be. So either you're going to accept it or don't watch. I mean, it's just one or the other, because the bottom line is it's not going anywhere. And if Notre Dame wants to be relevant, if Notre Dame wants to be a national power and contender in the way that this modern football game is changing, you have to go out into the portal and you have to acquire acquisitions of people that can fit into what you're trying to build. Okay, because here's the thing, man. Ed Delly is not the guy. I'm sorry. I get he's a homegrown Notre Dame,
Yeah.
People want to have that type of guy into our system, but he's just not that guy, man. And I hope that he can find a place eventually, because I just feel like he's probably going to end up leaving, after the bowl game potentially. And hey, I well wishes to the brother, man. I hope that, that number one, I would hope that he would consider getting his degree first. But if he makes a decision like Drew Pine, that he feels like he's owed an opportunity and he leaves and goes somewhere, hey, man, power to him, man. That's the name of the game. If kids want to play, there's a lot of opportunities now that weren't there before where you can go and play at one of these schools. But if Notre Dame is trying to be relevant, I mean, like you said, like somebody just mentioned, the quarterbacks under Brian Kelly and then the quarterbacks under Freeman.
Yep.
Dude, it's night and day, man.
Brendan Clark, Pine, Buckner, and Jelly Cone, Minchie, Carr, Deuce, Hartman, Leonard.
Just look at that, man.
They're not
just
close.
Listen to that list of guys.
Yeah.
None of those guys right now that you just listed, in my opinion, could go to one of the teams right now that are in the playoff and be a starter. That's what you have to look at. You have to ask yourself, could these quarterbacks that you just listed, would they have a chance to go to any of the 4 teams that are in the playoff right now and actually be a starter and actually help the team win a game? And if that's not what's in your room, then you got to do something about it. You got to do something that's going to make some type of change, and that's what Freeman's trying to do. And I'm glad to hear that the administration is finally coming around and say, okay, like, this man is really trying to putting all this work and all these hours in, trying to change the culture and the program and make it to be what it should be. It's literally the doorstep to the university.
Yeah.
So, the bottom line is like, man, the fans, we have our own opinions about how we feel about stuff, because we feel like everybody that is a fan of this team feels like we know the best solution. But we're not in the back rooms. We don't see every practice. We don't see every game plan that's being put together. We don't know all the ins and outs. So all we have to do is we have to trust the process of what the coaching staff is doing, okay? And if you can't do that, then I don't know what else to say to you, but, either keep complaining or find another team or something. But the bottom line is, like, this is the way it's going to be. It's not going anywhere. And if nothing else, it's going to grow. It's going to expand more. So, I'm with it, man. I'm being optimistic with it. I feel like Riley Leonard fits more into what I feel Jared Parker is trying to format in this offense and what Freeman really wants. Because, John, what was the main thing you said, man? I remember almost 2 years ago when we were talking about Drew Pine being the quarterback. And I remember you said, when are we going to have a real life-size quarterback that can see over the line, that can make actual plays?
I'm getting fancy. I'm getting fancy. I have ritzy taste. Okay, I got a high-class taste, buddy. I'm asking for a lot to have a guy that has those features. Where the hell do I get off expecting these fancy luxuries?
I mean, when I saw that Riley Leonard committed, it made me think about that. I'm like, that's what we've been asking for, man. We want a life-size, real-size guy that can look over the field, can see everything, and make plays. Because I'm going to tell you something right now, man. If Riley Leonard was playing against Ohio State last year when we were in that 2 4th-and-1 situation, he does not, miss that. He converts.
Yeah.
And most likely we score a touchdown on that drive and probably win the game. And then the Clemson game on 6 possessions, we don't have 6 possessions where we go 3 and out.
Yep.
Because he's going to eventually, in one of those possessions, use his legs to extend the drive.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what we're missing, man.
It just gives you more of an outlet. Yeah, I agree with you. And it helps. It helps Parker, and he needs some assistance. So if this helps,
and I'm gonna tell you something else.
I'm for it.
I'm gonna tell you something else that helps, John. I'm gonna tell you something else that's going to help next year. It's going to help a young but very talented O-line. Because here's the thing: you got to replace 2 tackles.
Yep, you're right.
Okay, so this is going to help the O-line look better than maybe what they're going to be in their first season, but in the same breath, it's going to help them to understand how to really gel together amongst a quarterback that can use his legs and create opportunities for the offense to stay on the field. Because that I feel is the new wave of what I feel Freeman and Parker want in the quarterback. They don't just want a system guy. They don't want a guy that can just sit in the pocket and just tear people up in the pocket. They need somebody. They want a quarterback that can run, that can use his legs and make plays, a playmaker. That's what we've been saying for the longest time. We need a game changer at quarterback.
Yep.
And I feel like that we're on the verge of starting to bridge that gap with a guy like Leonard. And then next year, I feel, is the year I feel that they would like to start homegrowing their own quarterback.
Yeah, dude, we're on the same track. I see the path the way you do as far as what they're building and then wanting to build a bridge to it. I'm seeing it the way you are as far as the plan and the vision. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, man. And I just, this is gonna be my team, man. Win, lose, draw. I get frustrated, man. I cuss, kick, scream, whatever. But man, this is my team, man, and I'm gonna cheer for Notre Dame. Yeah. Regardless, man. I get all kinds of crap from family that are Ohio State fans and Michigan fans and Florida State fans and Texas fans.
Everybody.
I get all kinds of crap.
Yeah.
Everybody, man. But you know what? I stand tall and proud, man. This is my team, man. And I'll ride with Notre Dame until the brakes fall off of the vehicle. Because that is my team.
There you go, man.
You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta ride with it, man, because I'm behind a guy that's trying, man. I'm not going to get behind a person that's on the golf course swinging golf balls when he's not out here recruiting guys. Because I think about some of these players, man, that we could have acquired if we had the same type of effort in recruiting that this brother is trying to, implement into this program now, man, where this program could be, where the quarterback room would be right now. So it's proven a lot of things, man. It's proven that there are kids that can get into this school. We've been sold a bill of goods that, they can't get in because they don't have the grades. They don't have that. That's a bunch of baloney, man. There are kids out here, 5-star upside kids that can get into this university. What it's going to take now is Freeman is going to have to get better at in-game coaching, man. That's one thing about it.
Yep.
He's got to get better at that. He's got to get better. He's got to make better decisions, man. But on the upside, the talent gap is getting better, man. I'm not on the fire Freeman train. I'm not on we got to get somebody else. Because if you're trying to bridge the gap in terms of the talent because of what you're trying to build and become, I can't help, man, but give this guy, some time, man, to get his guys in, man. He doesn't even have all his recruits on the field yet. Give this guy a couple of years or so to get all the guys that he recruited. And at that point, if he's still making the same boneheaded coaching calls 2 years from now, then I'm going to say, okay, man, it's time to look at something different.
Yeah.
But I feel like, man, the quarterback room is going to help the entire team. And if you look on Twitter, man, look on Instagram, these kids, man, I was on Instagram yesterday, and, man, you should see some of the players, man, that's commenting saying, oh, man, they don't understand. I can't wait, man. They don't know what we got. This and that. And these are some of our players.
Yeah.
They're excited that he's here. So the only thing that matters to me is that if those kids are excited that he's here and that these other guys are coming in, then, hey, man, what can we do? What are we complaining about? Because ultimately, we're not the ones playing. We're not suiting up on Saturdays playing. They are. So if they are on board with it, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say,
man, I'm kind of on that track of thinking with you. And I get it though, man. The Notre Dame thing, there's the glass could always be half empty if you choose to look at it that way. And some people are. I kind of see your vision. I kind of agree with that. So I agree with it, man. Hey, it's good touching base with you. It's been a while, man. Thanks for giving me a call. Happy holidays if I don't talk to you before.
Hey, likewise, man. I'll be next year. I definitely plan on coming to the event that you have next year, man.
Oh,
I'm
man.
definitely planning on going.
That'll be fun. I think it's Miami, Ohio is the game we're targeting. It'll be late September, good weather. Like we'll have a good group. That'll be fun. Everybody's invited.
Okay, sounds good, man. Good hearing from you. Happy holidays.
You too, man. Take care. Merry Christmas to you. Oh man. Jacob Saylor, and then I'll go back to the calls right away. John, makes me sad as I feel regardless who we get, we will undevelop them and be back here again next year. Listen, I got to tell you, if you have that fear based upon the last 20 years of Notre Dame quarterbacking, longer than that, actually, I can't talk you out of it. I can't talk you out of it. Quarterback development is unheard of at Notre Dame in my cognizant lifetime. And I already go over it all the time. Oh, this will probably trigger people that'll trigger me again. I do it all the time. Name me a Brian Kelly quarterback in over a decade that the longer he played games for the guy got better and not worse. You can't because it doesn't exist. Every single starting quarterback Kelly had, the more games he played, the numbers and the production went down, not up. Oh, but Jay Daniels got the Heisman. Yeah. Yeah. So would I if I was built like a deer. So would I if I was built like a deer. I'd just run all over and throw the ball all over and do whatever. I'm just telling you, he was shopping down a different aisle for sure because he chose to. 937. What's going on, 937?
Hey, John, can you hear me okay?
I can indeed, man. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Hey, appreciate you taking my call. First, this is, I don't know, I saw a comment kind of attacking you for not going hard at Freeman and all that thing. Look, and I'll tie it into Riley Leonard a little bit. But, from the start, Freeman has been plagued a little bit by the product of what he was offered. In what situation does a head coach go into taking a job with the stipulation that Tommy Rees is your offensive coordinator, period? You want the job, he stayed.
Yeah.
So the guys, I mean, what's he supposed to do? No, I don't want to be the head coach at Notre Dame with Tommy Rees as the offensive coordinator. No, he's going to take the job. Then he goes out and tries to find an OC that he wants after Tommy leaves.
Yep.
And Notre Dame botches that again.
Yep.
Thanks, Ron Pallas. Thanks, Jack Swarbrick.
Yep.
For screwing it up.
Yep.
So he has to scramble.
I'm with you so far. Yeah, I see no lies detected yet. Keep going. I cook because I see no lies detected yet. Keep going.
Make no mistake about it. They scrambled, and Parker's his boy, whatever.
Yep.
But what does Parker? It's already established. He wants mobility.
Yep.
He wants an athlete. None of the quarterbacks that we have in the room fit the mold, obviously, on what he's looking to do. They weren't recruited by him. Angeli was a Tommy Rees recruit. Mitchie was a Tommy Rees recruit. Do I want those guys to stay? 100%. We don't want another depleted room again.
Yeah.
But if they don't fit the mold of what you envision your offense to be, how can you not approach the subject of taking Riley Leonard? How can you not? If that's your vision. Now, will it work? Who the hell knows? I think everybody's right to temper their enthusiasm after, I wouldn't call it a fiasco, but it wasn't the bump that we wanted with Hartman.
I think that's perfectly fair. I think that is totally fair. If you were just a Notre Dame fan who said, you know what, I want to get excited about this. However, I didn't get what I thought we were going to get out of it last time, so I'm a little less excited till I see it on the field and how it goes. I believe that is a totally reasonable and fair position to hold as a fan. I do. I think that's fair.
Yeah. And I mean, now both of these coaches, for all intents and purposes, are learning on the job, which is a catch-22. It's kind of bullshit that Notre Dame has to settle for coaches that are learning on the job.
Yeah,
but I digress from that.
It's a lot to ask for. It's a lot to ask for to have your head coach learning on the fly and an OC trying to do it as well. That's a lot to ask for, isn't it?
But I can push back a little bit on the quarterback development. What is Gino Guidugli supposed to do with the sixth-year quarterback? It's the same thing by saying, oh, Brian Kelly turned Jaden Daniels into a Heisman Trophy candidate. No, he just was a Heisman. He was that type of athlete and was put in an offense that was allowing him to showcase his abilities.
Yeah.
Did Brian Kelly turn him into that? Probably not.
He's going to be happy to take the credit for it, though. That guy.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't say that, oh, Gino Guidugli is the reason that Notre Dame hasn't developed a quarterback in the last 20 years. Well, he was only there 1 year for a quarterback that's already developed. And developed into probably an undraftable quarterback. Maybe he gets a 6th, 7th round pick, maybe 5th, who knows? But he's a borderline practice squad player. Maybe he gets onto a roster. But it's not like anybody said going into this season, great college quarterback statistically, right? But he didn't have any NFL measurables, short, system quarterback, what have you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a no-brainer to go after any prospective fucking sorry. But you already dropped 3 or 4 F-bombs. I let it slip, my bad.
Yeah.
So
I guess I gotta allow you one since I had one. We'll wash those out and then we'll all go to confession. Deal? Deal.
Yeah. But so, I mean, those are some of the things that I think get lost in this is that I think, and a lot of people, everybody's got to giving Freeman a free pass. I don't think it's like that at all. I think that the fans understand that, hey, we got to give this guy a little bit more of a leash than somebody that came in with 25 years of head coaching experience. But He embraces the university. He is a hard recruiter, hard worker, embraces the fans, embraces the Subway alum, embraces the old players. Now, going forward this year, I resigned to the fact that he got 5 years to really put this team into title contention.
Yeah.
Title contention.
So then you're
Like,
thinking
you
by
may
then.
you may or may not win it, but at least you're not going to the title game and getting trounced.
So
you're not a paper champion. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So your theory would be, if you had that amount of time, it gives Freeman a chance to develop himself personally as a head coach and all of that stuff on and off the field. It also gives him more than enough time to flip the roster and have it be all his guys. And then you can hopefully also line it up with the quarterback that they want to have when they feel they're entering that legitimate era of contention. That's the way you're seeing it. And that's the way I see it too. But what I need to happen is I need this bridge to be manageable to get us to that point. And that's where a year like this year was important. And a year like next year is important to build a bridge to where you can maintain some momentum to get us to that part where you're talking about. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's people keep saying, well, what if Angeli goes into the bowl game and tears it up?
It doesn't matter.
Then he goes into the bowl games and tears it up, right?
Yeah.
But I think the previous caller said it. It's we're not there. Obviously, the coaches see the day in and day out. They see, hey, we probably need to go to the portal to iron some things out. Now, if Minchie or Angeli are just light years better than Riley Leonard, light years better, then we've got a good problem to have, right?
But also, if they were, we would probably already know it. That's the issue I have. If they were that, we would probably know it, and the staff would definitely know it. And so I just think the answers are kind of there in front of us by the actions being taken. Not even the words, but just the actions.
And so, okay, and then you say, well, why wouldn't they just roll Minchie out there? Well, Minchie gets recruited by Tommy Rees to play in a Tommy Rees system. Wouldn't it benefit Minchie, who's now under a new offensive coordinator, learning a new style of offense, whatever, to have one more year in development in that said offensive coordinator system? And then it's Angeli or Minchie, or if Carr comes in and he's lights out from day one, I just think it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Do I think that you should spend $2 million on an experiment? Probably not, but whatever. That's the going rate. Who cares?
Yeah.
We just gotta roll with it.
Dude, that's the other thing, man. The other thing is, like, with that NIL money and everything, dude, I was told the number that's in that pot for the fund. Bro, don't worry about money in Notre Dame and NIL. They got money. If they need to go do something, they can go do something. There is a pot there, and it is deep, and it's deeper than I thought. Don't ever worry about that.
I mean, all you gotta do is look at the board of administration.
I'm telling you,
Notre Dame's board, and see what kind of money sits on that board.
Yeah, but this is different. No. But this is different than that. Thankfully, this is a whole different avenue than that group.
But you can't tell me some of those guys on the board are not throwing into that kitty for that fund.
Oh, I'd be surprised if they were, actually. I don't think those people care about football at all. Oh, yes. I don't think they care at all. It's more about getting a building with the family name on it everybody has to walk by. I genuinely mean that. I don't think those people give a lick about football. I don't. 9-3 is beautiful for them. If you go 9-3 every year, they'll love you. That's perfect for them.
Yeah. Well,
so I don't think they're pitching in. They're not pitching in. But what they are doing is being open to letting people pitch in and letting Freeman work it. Are you following me here? These aren't people that care about football the way you and I are, but they will at least greenlight other people to do this, to put Freeman in a position to make this all work. So I'm not giving them any credit because they do have to be involved in this, but they're not throwing into the fun for NIL. They're much higher level thoughts.
And I think that's why I think that Freeman is the guy to do that, because people like him. You know, if Brian Kelly
That's amazing, isn't
tried
it?
to do this.
Isn't that amazing that if you treat
know,
people right and build good relationships, you can get more accomplished and get more things you want if you just know how to act? Isn't that wild?
Exactly. It's a lot easier when they see how much hard work and how personable a guy he is.
Yep. How you treat
doing
people.
everything that he can.
Yep. Yep.
Whereas Brian Kelly would just be on the golf course calling in, say, "Hey, I need this. If I don't get it, I'm quitting."
From the golf
Or I'm
course. That
gonna
was
go
a nice
take another
touch.
job.
That was a nice touch. I like that. Dude, I got to tell you.
I need $2 million for a quarterback. If I don't get it, I'm going to go to LSU.
Yeah.
Well, then go to LSU.
Hey, man, listen.
Anyway, I'm going to jump off.
Dude, I really appreciate this. You're making me feel like I'm not crazy, because the vision that you're kind of presenting, it lines up with the way I'm seeing some of this too. The thing is, it's hard to like have the patience to wait for some of this stuff to come through. And so I'm hoping we could get to that point. But I'm with you, man. I see the vision. Thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate it. Happy holidays, man.
You too. Take care. Where was it? There's something else that I highlighted here. See, I'm fair to Luke. When he says something reasonable, I address it. And when he's out of pocket, then I yell. It's as fair as I could be. I think Freeman's act wears thin on some folks. I understand that, Luke. I totally understand that. The good looks, how polished he is, the way the wheeling and dealing and all that, the media hits all over the country, like all of that. You got to start pairing that up with wins, or it loses its effectiveness as an operating method. Does that make sense? Like I've heard from, I totally get that. It's like even Goolsby has said, how about a little less gallivanting all around doing the media stuff and more making sure you have 11 guys on the field? Like, but Freeman has to do both and be the promoter and be the brand guy, get the donations coming in, be seen on TV, all of that. But I totally understand people saying, man, I get it. All this flash and all that cool and everything, but we're making amateur mistakes on the field and you're making bad coaching mistakes on the field. Like, that is something you could go to when you're frustrated. Like, dude, I don't care how good you look in that shirt. Put 11 guys on the field. Like, I do get that. And eventually, it doesn't matter how good of a wheeler dealer you are. Doesn't matter how good you can smooth talk. Doesn't matter how sharp you look and how promotional you could be. And as a mechanism, the wins just got to start lining up on the field. Like they just do, or it's going to wear thin. That's perfectly fair. 574, give me some more. And then maybe this 703 I'm scared to take. 574, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, John?
It's going well. Just kind of breaking down Notre Dame's quarterback situation here. You've been taking it in for a while. What's your perspective on all this?
Well, I was a little heated when the show first started, but I think I cooled down after a while. But I think it's, for me in this situation, I actually love what Freeman's doing. And to all the complaints of people saying that, we should be developing the quarterbacks we have already, I'm happy that he got somebody in the portal, because this is his third year. This is the year that everyone's going to evaluate him. He's not going to try to, go 8-4, 9-3 again this year by developing a quarterback. No, he's going to get a guy who he believes can take him to the playoffs, which if you can't make a playoffs in the top 12 this year, that's a problem to look at.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. It's just, I don't know, man. Why is everything got to be so complicated in Notre Dame land? Nothing's ever as straightforward as it should be. Am I the only one who thinks that?
Because everybody wants something different. Like these people that are complaining about, we don't want Leonard, we want to develop our guys. They'd be the same people complaining if we went 8-4 and said, why didn't we make the playoffs? Freeman's not the guy. It's the same people.
Yeah, it's just there's a certain segment of these people where no matter what we do, there's a negative angle. Always with the player acquisition or it's just, if you choose, you can always be negative. And like, I don't know, man. I am starting to see the vision of what Freeman's trying to build, but it's very, very loose around the edges. And he's got a lot of things he's got to tighten up pretty quick. But I feel like I could kind of see what he's trying to get to. And I feel like I'm just trying to get there before we're getting there. Does that make sense?
I think it's more about trying to make sure to make a statement this year. Because look exactly what he did in the transfer portal once all the receivers that he got last year in recruiting left. He's trying to rebuild the room and getting more experienced guys as well, which, by the way, we didn't have last year when Thomas and Colsey were hurt.
Yeah.
And you only saw two people get the ball, which was Rico and Chris Tyree and the lacrosse player. And that's it.
Yeah.
You were not seeing anybody else get the ball. And I'll be frank. It's hard to be disappointed this year when you saw our wide receiver room after the whole year's finished. Like now that you look at it, you're like, wow, our receiver room was not great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And here's the problem I ran into all year. I took crap because I said, you want to be mad about the wide receiver room? Be mad at Kelly and his regime towards the end. Their bad recruiting the last few years has now come home to roost right on Freeman's lap and is all of our problem now. And no one wants to hear that because they think, I don't know why, people think just because like Freeman came in that like the roster, it fixed it, like it's a reset. All of those bad recruiting years towards the end of Kelly, they don't affect you in the bad recruiting year. It's 2 to 3 years later when it's their turn to contribute on the roster that you see how bad it is. And we're right in the middle of it right now. Nobody wanted to hear that, though. Like, they were trying to dig out of it, but it was such a big hole. No one wanted to hear that because it's me blaming Kelly. But the fact is the fact. Like, they did a bad job and set this grenade up to go off in these years, and here we are now. It's just you got to work through it.
For me, I see the people that are whining about all this are people who haven't been well informed or doesn't keep up with all the social media and what goes on in the teams in the off season. They just see that, oh, we lost the game or we lost a player, and then they just let their emotions go. Like, I know how I keep up with recruiting. I keep up with all the things that happen on the team in the off season. If something good or bad happens, you know what's happening in the following season. Like if there's going to be any issues. Like this year, my problem was our receiver room is low. And is that Freeman's fault? No, absolutely not. It is not his fault. He tried to fix it. And by the way, anybody who complains that, oh, he shouldn't have fired that wide receiver coach, look at the development of those wide receivers. There wasn't any. I'd rather be happy that he got rid of the guy who couldn't develop and then got somebody who is well known through the coaching world to be a great developer.
Yeah, it's going to be, man, it is. It's just an interesting dynamic. And there's no way that I could say any of this without it coming off bad on me. And it's like, well, you're never hard on Freeman or whatever. Yes, I am hard on Freeman. Marcus Freeman needs to get a lot better at coaching and tighten up a lot of different things. Like, I don't understand why it all can't be true, where I'm happy with the aggression he's doing the portal and trying to flip everything and do all that and fighting for NIL money that he wants and all that. And give him a positive on that. And also say he needs to tighten it up big time, like himself with the coach, like, why can't both be true, man? It doesn't have to be all one or all the other.
I might get some hate for saying this, and I don't care. I think he works harder than any college football coach right now in college football.
He works his ass
Look at
off.
what you see other big coaches do.
He works
Look
his
at what
ass
other
off.
coaches do in the offseason.
Yeah.
Nick Saban, you know for a fact, he's working he works in his office, but you know what he also does? He's making commercials. He's taking vacations to his Florida home. He's not constantly on the road. He's not constantly talking to the media to build up the classes that he's building for recruiting. He's not doing that. You got Brian Kelly, who's constantly playing on the golf course in Baton Rouge. You have Lincoln Riley, who's living it up in L.A. You've got all these coaches who got their people who are working in the offseason, and they will show up to take pictures when need to. Yeah. Marcus Freeman is making changes. He's constantly on the road with recruiting, constantly remembering to watch these kids, making sure that always staying up in contact with them. And more importantly, yeah, he talks to the media a lot. But you know what he does? He gets these kids involved in the media as well so that they can build their own images going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
There's nobody who works harder, and you have to appreciate that. Yeah. Anybody who's criticizing him, saying he's not working hard enough, don't know a damn thing.
Yeah. It's just that effort matters to me. That effort matters to me. And I know you're not seeing the instant results of it, but while we were all bitching on Twitter and freaking out about guys leaving, these guys were recruiting and hitting the portal and pounding it hard and moving on and doing the next thing to fix the problem. They're working in a different gear to me. It feels like Freeman's a little irritated and annoyed, and he's working in overdrive to try and fix these issues.
It's just tough.
And I love it, man. That's what I've asked for.
The hardest job in the United States is coaching for Notre Dame. And with all this NIL and the transfer portal, it makes the job even harder because Notre Dame is trying their hardest to get these players out of the transfer portal, which they did. They got Bo Collins and Chris Mitchell from Clemson and FIU. Those are nice pickups. But you know how hard it is to get guys who are undergraduates to come to Notre Dame?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's even harder.
I agree with you. And I just want to see Freeman get the payoff for all this hard work. It's just extra hoops you got to jump through at Notre Dame to get things accomplished. That's just the way it is. Not right or wrong, good or bad. The realities are there's just more you have to do at Notre Dame to line all this up. And Freeman and his staff are working their asses off. And I do get shit for giving him credit for that. It's like, John, isn't that their job, is to work hard or whatever? Yeah, we've had multiple regimes who weren't doing it for a lot of years, number one. And number two is I believe they're in like overdrive here. And I really, really like seeing that as a diehard Notre Dame fan, knowing the degree they're trying to go to make this roster better every day. Makes me feel good. At least I know the effort is there, and I couldn't say that before.
Here's a question I have for everybody who's hating on Marcus Freeman right now. Since he's been a coach, name me one blowout game that he did not have his players actually play in the game and make it a close one.
Now, you know what? That's very interesting that you brought that up because I believe, I don't even remember when I recorded a video about that, and I don't think it went out yet. And that is literally the entire point of the whole video is breaking down some of that stuff. I'm right there with you in your head. That'll post soon, or maybe it's one of the videos when I'm in Florida and I'm going to be messed up on my recording routine. I'll play then. It's going over that exact dynamic and what that indicates. And it's a very interesting discussion. You're on it, man.
Because that's the difference that I see from Freeman to Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly, there were games that you wished you turned off in the second quarter. Yep. I don't have that experience with Marcus Freeman's team at all. At all. Even some of the ones that were bad this year, like Louisville.
Yeah, it was
Ohio
the first
State,
quarter. You didn't want to turn it off in the second quarter. It was the first quarter against Louisville. So I guess you were right. We didn't have to wait. I know what you're saying, but it just made me think about that bad first Louisville quarter.
I will never forget Brian Kelly in 2017 going to Miami and getting embarrassed on national television. I will never forgive him for that.
That was a blowout loss. before the bus even got to that it was done. And if we're doing this, add 19 Big House. It fits right in. Done before it started. Kelly had our guys scared. Those games were lost before they even started, and I can't respect it.
And like I said, since Freeman's been in here, there's never been a time where the players don't give it their 110% for each game. And you can tell with the biggest games on our schedule this year, they were working their ass off.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. Man, I hope for Freeman that he rides this out and stabilizes it enough that he could see the fruits of some of this vision come to fruition. But to get there, the road to get to that level of stability and showcase is a very rocky one. And that's why this year was a big opportunity. Next year is too, to keep flipping that roster, building that depth, doing all this. You just got to keep it together here. Have a good year. Have a good year this next year. Let's go. 10-2, make the playoff. Now we're cooking. Let's go.
Which, by the way, I'm gonna say this too. And if you're looking forward to this bowl game, I'm happy for you. But if Steve Angeli manages to throw 400 or 500 yards, I'm not going to be impressed because you're playing Oregon State's JV team.
Yeah. And he ain't going to do that. I'm telling you guys.
Is that sad to say?
Without those tackles,
yes,
I don't know what we're going to get. But I think if you're expecting Angeli to be lights out, bro, I don't know what would make you think that.
I seriously have no idea why anybody's thinking that. Like, soon as when the news broke about the receivers leaving, my first initial thought is, oh, great, we're running the triple T against Oregon State.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting. So listen, I'm with you. I see the foundation and the vision Freeman's building. It has been a lot rockier of a road to get there than I wanted it to be early. And I could see it, but he's got to tangibly, the things that are most visible need to improve. The in-game coaching, like some of the way we look in those bigger moments, it's like an iceberg, man. I can see like the stuff underneath the surface, but the surface level stuff is the most public, and it's just got to get a little more tightened up. It's just tighten it up, baby. Let's go.
My last criticism to these quarterbacks we currently have in right now is you got to look at the schedule we have next year, which is much easier than it was this year. Can you be confident, say, Angeli can go out there against Texas A&M and win week 1?
No.
Are you confident to
No, but I'm not, but I can't say that about Riley Leonard either, though. I don't know that. I don't know that for sure, but I like my odds with Riley Leonard more because of his gifts. But I'm not saying for sure, but I like my odds more because of that guy's physical God-given gifts. I think that's a reasonable way to look at it.
My point is you look at it on paper and you're like, okay, if I have Steve Angeli, my team at best can go 10-2 or at worst 8-4. When you got Leonard there, you have your chance to go 11-1, 10-2 at worst, or best 12-0.
Man, it's a whole nother discussion about what week 1's going to mean for all of this, both for the program next year, for Freeman overall, and what it's going to do to the fan base. I swear to God, if we run out of shit offense against Texas A&M week 1, this is going to get really ugly because nobody's in the mood for that after what our offense did this year in big moments, big games. Then you're going to sit on it all summer and spring and all that. And then we're all excited week 1, you put up like 10 points against Texas A&M. Then that's where you have real problems. I need you to put something together and run an offense.
I will not have any worries about week 1 because in the 3 years we've had Marcus Freeman, every first game he has his guys ready. Every first week he always has his guys ready.
Well, it's not just a matter of being ready. I need you to be ready and good. They were ready against Ohio State 2 years ago and scored 10 points. I need you to be ready and good enough, not just ready. Score more than 10. Give me some offense.
Well, that's true, but this is also a crippled Texas A&M program. So, and they're getting a Mike Elko, which I highly respect as a coach.
Hey, man, that's the question.
I don't think they're not going to be
question.
To the level of Ohio State week 1 in 2021.
How quickly can Elko work his Elko-ness? That's my question. They got a lot of guys coming and going, and there's going to be a lot of changes and all that. That's my question. I really respect Mike Elko, but my question is, by week 1, how put together can you be when you're changing this much? That's one of my big questions.
I mean, that's the point, is that we'll just have to see. Personally, I think he's going to do a great job there, but is he going to be ready for week 1 against the team that's going to have possibly the best secondary?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's going to be.
You never know. And
man, what a big moment. What a big moment in the new playoff era and all that. And you're going on the road in the SEC. What a moment. Notre Dame, man, we just keep finding these moments. Most of them make me miserable, but we keep finding big moments, don't we?
Right. And right now I got to head back to work pretty soon, but here's something I'm going to leave for everybody. Be happy you have a coach that's working his ass off. Be happy you have a coach that wants to win, not, drag his feet and say, well, I don't have the players. Yeah. I don't have the talent that I need here at Notre Dame. I need to go to the SEC to
shopping from a different aisle, bro. I'm shopping in a different aisle. Give me a break, man. I'm in the discount aisle. It's,
Be happy you have a guy who said, you know what? I don't like what I see in this room. I'm going to go in the portal and get people who can do that I need to see we can hit the level of winning a national title.
Yeah.
Not be like, all right, guys, this isn't the year, but you know what? We're going to try and, tell the media that winning is hard, all of that garbage excuses.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. Hey, man. I'm with you.
Just not having that no more.
Yeah.
And by the way, and if any LSU fan that's bragging about taking Brian Kelly and winning a Heisman, congratulations. You have the first Heisman that's never played in a New Year's Six Bowl or for the playoffs or national title. That's a great badge to have.
It's a BK special, man. To have a Heisman winning offense, the number 1 point output at over 46 points a game and end up with 3 losses. It is a Brian Kelly special, and he's got him convinced it's good enough now, too. It's beautiful. Hey, man, thank you very much for the call. I hope you have a good holiday season if I don't speak to you. And I know I see your local South Bend. We'll be out for blue and gold. Come find us.
Will do, man. I appreciate it. Have a great Christmas.
You too. Take care, my friend. Take care, my friend. All right. That's going to be it for the day. We ran the gamut of emotions. You know what? I'm not really sorry I yelled earlier either. So I was considering being like, oh, I'm sorry I yelled. No, I don't feel bad that I yelled. So never mind. I don't feel bad. Michael Campbell, what's going on, man? What's going on? Yeah, 4 straight night game. That was rough. It was rough. But hey, thank you everybody for being here. Callers, most of the chatters, all of the donators, all of the people that have jumped on Patreon and joined us support over there. I appreciate all you guys. We ran all over today, man. I was happy. I was mad. I was sad. I was glad. I'm sorry if I lost my cool. Sometimes that fuse, man. I don't apologize for it. You never know what you're going to get here. That's the point of this. But thank you, everybody. And then also, when we get into the next couple weeks, I'm going to Florida for a while. We got the holidays. I got a baptism. We're going to be in Florida for a while for the bowl game. It's going to change some of what I do and when and all that. So when I figure out what we're going to do, I'll let you know. And it could be where I fire it up and we go live, but I just can't take calls and we're chatting, but I'm poolside or by the golf course again or whatever. So I'll figure it out. But I can't not do this because I'm in Florida. So I'm going to have episodes posted. We're going to have Patreon episodes posted. And I'm going to do the best I can from Florida, man. I'll fire this up and we'll do this. All right, you guys. Poolside's good, John, as long as you have a shirt on. Give me a break. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here, even if you were a jerk and I yelled at you. Have a good day.